What's going on, guys, and welcome to today's video. And today we are out on a back road and I'm explaining why I think the C5 Z06 is the best track day, autocross, daily driver, budget car that there is. And that's why I've partnered with veteran-owned small business GetEnteredToWin.com to give you guys a chance to win this C5 Z06. Check out the link down in the description for go.getenteredtowin.com/Tyler Potter for your chance to go on, buy a mug or a digital download, and enter to win this C5 Z06. Now, I guess let me give you guys a little bit of backstory here. As you guys know or might not know, I do love autocross and track day stuff. I've got a Camaro that I do a lot of track day and autocross events with. But I always in the back of my mind have loved the C5 Z06, specifically the Z06 with the fixed roof coupe, with the short back window, the little trunk. I don't know. Something about the look of this car really does it for me. The split spoke, competition gray wheels, this is kind of it for me. I really enjoy at least looking at these cars. I've never owned one, but have driven out on track with a bunch of them, out at autocross, all of that. And again, kind of all of those reasons kind of help allude to why I think this is the best budget daily driver autocross track day car. Now, daily driver, you may be saying, man, isn't a big V8 going to get horrible gas mileage? But honestly, Corvettes do get really good gas mileage, or at least better than you would think. Had a buddy with a similar LS3 C6 car, and that car would do over 30 miles to the gallon out on the highway in sixth gear, just cruising down the road. Yes, the Z06 does have a little bit tighter gear ratios, a little higher RPM, but again, they get surprisingly good gas mileage while going down the road. And then you can also take them out to the drag strip, the track day, and an autocross and do equally well. We're going to be doing a few things with this car later in the week. Hopefully tomorrow we're going to be getting this thing onto the dyno. Now this is an 01. When these were released in 2001, this is a first year Z06. They were rated at 385 horsepower, 385 foot-pounds of torque. Now the following year, they did get a power bump to 405 horsepower, but don't be disappointed, this car does have some spicy parts under the hood. This car is equipped with long tube headers, full exhaust with an X-pipe to the factory titanium mufflers. Now, to me, that is kind of the ultimate C5 Z06 exhaust, because a lot of guys will take that factory titanium muffler, throw it in the trash and put some aftermarket, stainless steel exhaust on it, but you're actually adding weight to the car. That factory axle back is extremely lightweight on these cars. So the fact that somebody was smart enough to do long tubes and full exhaust to the factory axle back, somebody knew what they were doing and were modding it tastefully. We also have an SLP Blackwing under the hood, which is just a replacement for the factory airbox and the starting or beginning section of the air intake system, factory intake, all of that kind of stuff. But we do have more air coming in, and we've got a lot more air going out of the exhaust. Now, it is not overly loud and ridiculous, since it is still piped through the factory Z06 mufflers, but it does have a little bit of cackle, a little bit of burble to it as you are on and off throttle, which is just about perfect. So let's take a quick tour around this thing. Let's talk about it. Let's show you the interior. We'll go out and drive it. And again, I'll try and gush to you guys why I think these things are such a special and bargain affordable car. Now, you can find these things for $20,000 to $25,000, depending on mileage, condition, shape, obviously. But this one hopefully is going to be one of your guys's for considerably less. Like I said, check that link down in the description. But yeah, let's walk around this thing. So like I said, we've got these split spoke competition gray wheels on our bright yellow paint. Z06s are fixed roof, of course. No, targa that comes off. This is how it is the whole time you've got it. But other than that, the car is in really good shape. It only has 40,000 miles on the car. And another thing, worth mentioning is the ride height. Corvettes have adjustable ride height from the factory. You can adjust the leaf spring bolts and change ride height. The fact that this car is still sitting factory ride height means it was not owned by a younger person that has wanted to mod it to the end of its life. The fact that it's still sitting tall like a C5Z would sit tells you someone cared for this thing. Now jumping into the interior here, we do have a Hurst shifter, and honestly, it feels great. Very notchy and just very correct. It doesn't feel goofy like an aftermarket shifter. It feels very correct in this car. But the overall condition of this thing is extremely nice. C5s will get their buttons. These are kind of a rubber pad here for the driver and passenger window and mirror switches, and these things will get pretty darn worn out, but these look brand new still. There's no wear, there's no discoloring, it's not sticky. They're just very, very pristine. But overall, it is just a very, very nice, unmolested and clean interior. Steering wheel's in good shape, seats are in good shape. It's just a very nicely maintained car. We don't have fading on anything, so it's not just been rotting out in the sun. Another cool feature of a Z06 specifically is our front little air intake ducts, which are directly plumbed to be blowing air into our hub brake wheel area in the front fender. And then equally, we do have the rear air intakes, which are again pushing air up into the rear wheel brake hub area to help things stay cool when you are out on track. All right, guys, so enough talking outside the car. Let's get in this thing and drive, and I can explain my driving feel with this C5Z. So guys, taking off here in the C5Z, one thing, again, myself being a kind of factory track car enthusiast, again with the Camaro, with the fixed roof coupe, you do get a little more road noise, exhaust noise, powertrain noise through the vehicle compared to the normal coupes. And most people would think that's a bad thing, but honestly, it just kind of adds to that visceral feeling, the noise, the vibration, whatever you want to call it, that you hear. It just makes you feel like you're in a little bit more of a special car. Now, yes, I know you typically don't want a loud, road noise car, but the fact that these were built for track, built for performance, it just, to me, adds to the cool characteristic, the charm, whatever you want to say. Now, again, Z06s are more stiffly sprung and shocked than a standard Corvette, and you feel that on a normal, road. You're gonna definitely feel those expansion joints, those cracks in the road. But again, I personally like that. It's cool knowing you're in something that was built with a purpose. Now, fitment, I am 6'3", and I am very, very comfortable. That's one thing I run into sometimes in cars is fitment. And again, fitment, if you're going to go play out on a racetrack or out at autocross, you need to be able to fit a helmet on your head. That's a thing that a lot of people do not ever think about, that I often think about. With the seat in my comfortable driving position, I have adequate room for a helmet on my head, and I'm not, too far away, too close, whatever, to the steering wheel, to the shifter, the pedal box. Everything just feels where it should be. And again, rowing gears with this T56 transmission, there's a certain notchiness to it, and that's not a bad thing. I do love a very notchy, affirmative transmission that you feel it go into gears, and that's exactly what you've got here. More mundane, normal vehicles, you just are pushing it into gear. It doesn't feel as notchy or direct or whatever I'm trying to say. That's what you've got here. LS6 under the hood, like I said, this in 2001 was making 385 horsepower. This one obviously is going to be a little bit healthier with those parts we talked about, but it just very smooth. I'm in fourth gear doing 40 miles an hour, roll into it, and that car just immediately picks up. There's no lug, there's no load, it just goes. Now we will get on it here a little bit more. That's another thing. You know, shifting at speed, a lot of transmissions don't have you feel confident on going into gear or going into the correct gear. This thing just feels very direct. It feels like you're on the transmission. You're built into the car, and it just works. And like I said, I've played with a bunch of these out on track. Not me driving, of course, but me and the Camaro, guys out in these. There is a large race series of spec Corvette, which is just these C5 Z06s out there on the track set up, and man, they do well. It's just really cool seeing these things out moving on track. Again, I just really like the body style. But again, just as easily as it can be a beast and ripping the tires, you can drive just as casually here, short shifting the car and just casually getting up to speed. Very unassuming, other than the fact you're in a bright yellow Corvette. And again, this is where you can get that really good gas mileage. It doesn't have to be some crazy gas hog. You are just idling down the road. I'm gonna go over to sixth gear. We are barely over 1,000 RPMs just idling down the road. I have very little to no gas throttle input, and this thing is just idling down the road. And again, that's kind of what they do on the highway, is just idle down the road. The fact that they are so aerodynamic helps them be, again, that good daily driver side of things. So guys, hopefully that kind of pleads my case on why I think these things are such a good value for everything you can do with them. Like we said, with little to no mods, you can go out to a track day and have a blast for the day. With, again, little to no mods, you can go out to an autocross and do extremely well. And then during the week, you can drive it to work, get good gas mileage, and you know, have a absolute amazing place to be. Super comfortable seats, even if you're a relatively tall guy like myself. So yeah, I'm going to be very sad to see this thing go, but I'm excited for you guys to, like I said, hopefully check out the link down in the description for go.getenteredtowin.com/Tyler Potter. Go on there, buy a mug, buy a digital download, and get entered to win for a chance to take this thing home and go tear up your own roads. And yeah, so guys, we will hopefully get this thing on the dyno tomorrow. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time.